Hi, I'm Dana Conlisk. I'm a third-year PhD student at the Bordeaux campus researching the neurobiology of addiction.
Hey, I'm Eduardo, and I also do my PhD in the Neuro campus, but I study songbirds and the development of vocal behavior. And recently, Dan and I, we started this initiative called the ReproducibiliTea as the BordeauxTea in our campus. And the idea is to bring to our students and fellow colleagues the discussion on open science.
The point of the reproducibility meetings is to facilitate a discussion about the reproducibility crisis and open science and kind of talk about changing the framework.
Why open science? Why should we be talking about it? So there was a recent survey in Nature that asked more than 1,000 researchers on how they thought that science was doing. So they asked, is there a reproducibility crisis in science? And basically 90% of the surveyed researchers answered that yes, there is a crisis at some level. 52% thinking it's a significant crisis, and 38% a slight crisis. So that's a major thing. And we do see a lot of also students, and if we are in science in the academia world, we see a lot of people that have their doubts on the field, and they want to improve on our ways of doing science. So in the survey, they also asked if the researchers had ever tried to reproduce an experiment from someone else or their own. And as we can see, like in different areas, it's still quite high, meaning biology, how hard it is to reproduce even your own work or someone else's work. So in his case, like in someone else's work, goes up to almost 80% of people replied that they could not reproduce the work, and around 60% of their own work. So that's makes us ask how we were spending money in science and if we're doing a good job. And then they were asked which are the factors that could contribute to this reproducible research. And basically there's like the selective reporting, just publishing positive results that comes with this pressure to publish, this publish or perish culture. And of course the design of the experiments and the statistical analysis. So there are several topics that one could discuss and think on how to improve that we have a more reproducible research. Recently, this new framework has been proposed, which is this idea of open science. And to be honest, it is not very new in some areas, for example, from informatics or mathematics or physics. But in biology, it is something that is quite new that people are now catching up and trying to implement more and more. And it's this whole idea that science should be more open, more transparent in what's called a citizen science. So open data, open access, open methods, open peer review, open source, and open resources. There's a lot of branches from this tree that one can think about and discuss. And that's exactly what we want to do here in the Journal Club. And of course, when you think about open science, there are several benefits that are linked to it. So for example, for researchers, it will increase the visibility and the reach of their work, also increase the efficiency of their work, can influence on the funding because several countries here in Europe, for example, are now focusing on fundings and providing fundings that are focused on open science and providing your data, your pipeline. So that's very, very relevant. And also, of course, collaborating and networking, which is key in our field. So for the funders, they can have more visibility and also a funding impact. For the general public, they have more access to knowledge and what we do in science and how we do it, and that became extremely relevant nowadays with COVID. So it's something that we really have to think about if we are doing a good job and how to improve that. And then, of course, on organizations and national governments, the same idea. So they can be evidence informed and they can propose better policies and be more effective in advocating change. So open science, of course, is not a perfect solution. We have a lot to think about. We don't propose to solve science in a few meetings, but the idea is to educate ourselves. So here in the case of the reproducibility, this is an initiative that started in Oxford with these 3 students and basically started as a podcast just to discuss how we were doing science, how they were doing science. And this really was really caught by other universities, and now it's worldwide, has more than 100 institutions that have a journal club under the reproducibility umbrella. In France, we had 3 places so far, and now we brought it to Bordeaux. And our journal club will be structured in a way that we will meet monthly, usually every Tuesday, last Tuesday of the month. Basically, someone will host a session and will provide a paper that everyone should read in advance. And then we have a short presentation by the host just to kick off this discussion with the other attendees and students. And basically, yeah, we have around 1 hour slot. We had our first meeting 1 month ago, and our next one will be on the 30th of March, discussing on Sci-Hub. And for those who are interested in our journal club, you can find us on Twitter. We have an Open Science Framework webpage. We also have a newsletter. We ask you to subscribe to it, and an email if you have any questions. Our schedule is available on our OSF webpage, and we keep updating it once we have new hosts and new papers. And it's also a way of finding interesting papers to have a read on open science, because we pick and select some and we make it available in our Zotero list.
Thanks for listening, and go back and pause the video so you know where to find us, and make sure you subscribe to our newsletter to get the Zoom link, and all the links are below this video. And if you can't make it to our meetings, subscribe to this channel and we'll be posting just the presentation, but not the discussion.